All right, so today we will look at Iron Man and try to break down that why is it so hard to create a system like Jarvis. And this is like one of my favorite scene in the entire movie because Tony is trying his Mark II armor and the entire suit up scene and the entire configuration scenes were too awesome. So let's start.
Jarvis, you there?
At your service, sir.
Gauge heads up display.
Okay, so here Tony is basically giving different commands in this entire scene. Tony is basically delivering different commands to Jarvis, and he told Jarvis to engage the HUD display he have, and Jarvis is basically connecting with the entire suit and loading everything and displaying it into the HUD. And
Check.
that's
Four-door preferences from home interface.
Will do.
okay. Now, now here is the thing. Tony have a concept of called home interface. It means that not only Tony but Jarvis have multiple different users, and all those users have different settings for Jarvis. So it can be related to either color scheme or maybe voice or maybe a lot of different things we can do. Like this is not very exceptional in 2023 because we can configure a lot of these things in today's AI system. And there is one more thing. It is clear that Jarvis is not Tony is not controlling the entire interface, and Jarvis is basically loading everything into the entire screen. And especially look at and lot of these interface scenes, it actually doesn't mean anything because if you look at the entire interface, this outer circle, if you look at this outer circle, this actually doesn't mean anything. Maybe this inner circle, maybe this these arrow and these inner circle in inner circle can mean any something, means it can represent a targeting system, but this outer circle, it doesn't mean anything.
All right, what do you say?
I have in-
All right, what do you say? It means it is basically Tony is asking Jarvis that how is it going, like how the system is fine or not, or maybe he is asking a lot of different things in just one single sentence, and Jarvis is also replying to Tony in just one single phrase. He's not Jarvis is not basically listing everything into the screen or maybe not speaking about each and everything, but Jarvis is also giving a contextual answer in just one single phrase.
indeed been uploaded, sir.
I have indeed been uploaded, sir. Means either Jarvis is basically getting uploaded into that Iron Man suit, and that suit is basically becoming a sort of extension for Jarvis. And to achieve this kind of agility, we have to deal with dynamic neurons. Like even in neat algorithm like neuro evolution for augmented topology, we deal with we start with self-transforming neural networks where the neurons are formed based on the requirements. But here, if we want to achieve the, we also have to get the control of input and output nodes, and we have to create input and output node dynamically. And this is something very complicated. In even in this scene now, even if we go in further scenes, Jarvis is going to draw like air traffic controls as ATC as overlay. So we will get onto it, but the thing is, this interface is clearly not controlled by Tony in any way. It is completely controlled by Jarvis, and basically Jarvis is printing everything on the screen, whatever Jarvis finds interesting.
You're online and ready.
We start the virtual walk around.
Importing preferences and calibrating virtual environment.
Do a check on control surfaces.
As you wish.
Okay, so this is cool. This is cool because Jarvis is also running the entire suit simulation in a virtual environment. Also, uh, when Tony said it is basically running the entire check system, that if the suit is working fine or not, by moving each and every part of the suit. And this scene even looks very cool. But there is one thing I actually wanted to mention, that basically, since Jarvis is becoming the extension, like this suit is an extension for Jarvis. It can either be like Jarvis is functioning as a single platform in the center, and all those features, all those devices are basically extension of Jarvis. Like we do have a Chrome browser, but we also built-in extensions, like we also download extension on our Chrome browser to enhance its capabilities. So basically the suit is not suit is just an extension for Jarvis, which is extending its capability beyond its initial reach. By the way, this scene is so cool. I'm just trying to admire the entire suit up and the suit check scene here.
Test complete. Preparing to power down and begin diagnostics.
Yeah, tell you what, do a weather and ATC.
Okay, now here is the thing. To Jarvis, even before Tony, Jarvis was trying to convey information, like trying to build up some processes and trying to do some calculation in the background. But Tony is basically giving Jarvis instruction to do a weather and ACT, like air traffic control check. So these are basically two different commands, to either check weather and ATC. And this is why I actually wanted to make this video, because even in today's modern era, achieving this by an AI is too complicated, even in 2023.
Check, start listening in on ground control.
Sir, there are still terabytes of
Okay, now basically Tony gave command to Jarvis, and Jarvis actually understood that, okay, Tony is asking me to check the weather and air traffic, and now Jarvis have basically drawn that overlay in a 3D wireframe, and it is basically presenting Tony to the entire thing. But Jarvis is also holding, like pushing Tony back.
calculations needed before an actual flight is a
Jarvis.
So basically, Jarvis is like Jarvis is basically trying to calculate all the necessary calculation, trying to run all the necessary simulation, so that there will be a safe travel. And this is something Jarvis is doing on its own. This is not Tony, this is not anything programmed by Tony. Means Jarvis is being uploaded in the entire system, in the entire suit, and this is also new for him. And Jarvis is basically trying to figure out that what he should do. And by he I mean Jarvis. Okay, so let's move.
Jarvis. Sometimes you gotta run before you can walk.
And this command, this thing is like, sometimes you have to run before you walk. This is not a command, this is nothing. This is basically like a passing comment. And the fact that Jarvis understood this means, either Jarvis, through that phrase, either Jarvis understood the meaning of that comment, either that is pre-programmed in his system, or if Jarvis understands the context, so somehow Jarvis is understanding that he should override, basically converting that passing phrase, basically converting that passing comment into a command, like a terminal command in his system. And this movie is entirely fictional, but by the time the makers would have been making this movie, now they have really thought it through.
Ready? In 3, 2, 1.
So, and this is also very interesting, because Tony just said, after sometimes you have to run, you have to before you walk. Okay. And after that, he just directly said that ready in 3, 2, 1. But ready in 3, 2, 1 what? So this is the entire thing, that Jarvis is understanding the context of entire situation, that okay, now Tony is asking me to override the calculation I have been doing in the background, and I should just in 3, 2, 1 I should fire the repulsors. Tony is asking me to fire the repulsors, and this is very complicated even in 2023. This is very complicated, and the entire system, the way they have shown it, that they do, Jarvis doesn't need any trigger word, or Jarvis is understanding the situation. We have recently achieved a very minute um system like this, like today's transformer models or systems like Jarvis, chat GPT. They are able to understand, like the large language models, they are able to understand the context of what we are saying. But on that level, that is at least like 7, even 7, 8, or maybe 15 years away from now.
Kind of like a dream.
And here is the thing, here is something interesting. Tony is basically saying that okay, it feels like a dream, and Jarvis is not responding back to Tony. And this is where Jarvis becomes interesting, because Jarvis is not just replying to Tony. Jarvis can also choose when not to reply. And basically, not here, Jarvis is understanding that okay, Tony is enjoying the moment, and I should not interrupt him in this scenario. And this is basically the end of the entire scene. So I will make the further analysis in maybe in another video. But if you have seen the entire video so far, please make sure to subscribe, and I will be coming up with more of these videos. Thank you.